start. So this is awesome. I'm so glad to have both Anne and Matt here today. You guys were great. You just recently purchased a TIC in San Francisco, and it was a pretty kind of, you know, whirlwind adventure, how we kind of came together and kind of landed on the property and stuff that you guys found. And I'm so glad that you're here to kind of talk about it today, and just kind of excited to hear some of the story.
Great. Well, I guess I'll start. First of all, this is very nice of you to do, Eddie. We had such an amazing experience with you and Hayley. And yes, it was an adventure is a good way to put it. When we started, we were just poking around Zillow. We thought it was an interesting time to look in San Francisco, kind of as COVID was getting a little bit better, and you know, the exodus from San Francisco seemed to be dying down, but the prices seemed reasonable. So we figured, oh, we'll just poke around on Zillow, and we found a place that we thought was interesting, and then got connected with Hayley. And one of the things she said to me when we were trying to line up our visit was, she said, "You understand this is a TIC." And we both have legal training, but I have to be honest, I mean, I had forgotten what that meant. And so she explained the whole thing to us and the pros and the cons. And given our situation, some of the cons for some ended up sort of creating some value for us. And so we then got pretty keen on the idea of a TIC. It wasn't exclusively what we were looking for, but really the expertise that you and Hayley have around TICs immediately let us know that we were in the right hands. And then we wandered and looked at a lot of different places, whether they were other things we had seen on Zillow or things that you and Hayley had identified. And so we looked at a wide range of homes and opportunities. And ultimately, we found this one, and we went and looked at it and said, you know what, this is the one. And so it was just sort of one of those things that hit us all at the right time. And we were excited. And I think where you and Hayley were really helpful was sort of being, I guess, for lack of a better word, a voice of reason about, okay, you know, have you considered this issue? Have you considered that issue? And so it really helped to solidify the decision to move ahead. And it's been, I think, about 13 years since we purchased the home we live in now. So, sorry, I'm getting faded here, but we didn't understand what the world looks like today in terms of bidding on a home or making an offer on a home. And also San Francisco has its own unique aspects to it in that regard. And so you were hugely helpful as experts in helping us frame our offer and communicate with the sellers and understanding the things that they were looking for and meshing that with the things we're looking for. And we were amazed and sort of a little intimidated when our offer was accepted.
And when you, for coming in, because, you know, often when we meet people through Zillow, a lot of times they will come in and because there's great value in TICs, but Zillow doesn't have the TIC recognition. So right. Most people think they're contacting on a condo.
Right.
And it's kind of like this whole, what is this kind of whole thing? And there's different lenders involved, and it's
exactly
completely different process and stuff. Where was that like true? Because I'm sure that when you reach out kind of to meet an agent and you're kind of meeting somebody through Zillow, it's kind of like meeting through a dating app, right?
Well, it was very strange. I mean, when Matthew said, oh, we were kind of looking around, he said, well, I'm just going to hit the Zillow thing and see. And I thought, well, that's strange. I mean, like we had an agent we used here, and you sort of feel like you have to know the person and these beforehand. And so we said, well, let's just go and look. And so we went, and I couldn't have been more impressed with Hayley right off the bat. She was clearly extremely knowledgeable. We weren't looking specifically for, as we said, a TIC or a condo. We didn't really know, but she quickly just got to the heart of it. These are the differences. These are the choices. These are the neighborhoods. This is what you're going to get in this area. So we could quickly kind of put things compartmentalized into, okay, this is important to us, this isn't. And then she continued, she wasn't, overbearing or annoying or, kind of like, oh my gosh, I've now given my name to this Zillow person. And she was,
You're driving me crazy. No.
yeah, I'm like, okay, it's a little strange. And then you came on board and added even more expertise. So it was terrific.
Good. And then, would you, as a brand new person to the world of TICs and the opportunity that exists there, is there anything that you would say is, hey, somebody thinking about this is great about it, and hey, somebody thinking about it, just don't forget about this? Yeah, anything? Would you have one for either, or
I would say if you're going to look at TI, first of all, find out what they are, and understand the distinctions, and why they may not work for your particular situation. But certainly work with somebody who really understands TICs. I think you'd be doing yourself a huge disservice, because there were a lot of elements that came up. The financing you mentioned, enormous. So the lender that we have for our home here, they don't do TICs. And as we now know, there's a real select group that works with TICs. And so when we put in our offer, we needed to make sure we were speaking with lenders that were going to really get the job done. And it was you and Haley who knew this particular lender, and they got the job done. And it was, it's stressful because, you can't work with a whole host of different lenders. So you need folks that can deliver. And now we're going through the conversion process. And so there's a whole list of vendors, specific vendors, insurance, you go on and on, that it's important to work with somebody who knows what they're doing. Otherwise, you're going to be spinning your wheels, or you might not be able to get it done.
Well, that was what's great about you and Haley, is you had an instant list of vendors and you had relationships with them. So you could hustle quickly.
Yeah. And like that whole connection, we're big fans of Kevin and the bookkeeping service, and just making life so easy for very, very little cost, for minimal cost. So, and that's always great. And so are you, you're not actually, you're still in kind of the part of getting the property ready to get into the property. You're not actually in it yet. So
well, we have beds, so that's good at least. But getting it furnished, it's a little supply chain is preventing us from having the dream home at this stage. But
we're close. We're getting close.
But it's coming along. So
good. That's awesome.
We're not hosting cocktails quite yet.
Yeah, we've been hanging around.
We're gonna get the first invitation. Yes, for sure.
But as Anne said, we'll use the thinking chair. So
That's right. Yeah. A lot of thinking.
A lot of thinking. So hey, you guys have been fantastic. This is great. Thank you so much. It was so much fun and a pleasure to work with you guys, and we're looking forward to the fun we'll have as the years go by. So thank you.
Thank you.